Welcome to League of Legends Runes Reforged, where we look over precision, where you become a legend. We'll start off with the keystones on the rune pages. So, starting off with precision, we'll start on the keystones, and then we'll move down to the runes, and then I will tell you the secondary buffs. So firstly, the first keystone we'll be looking at is Press the Attack. Hitting an enemy champion 3 consecutive times makes them vulnerable, dealing bonus damage and causes them to take more damage from all sources for 6 seconds. Next, we'll be looking at Lethal Tempo. 1.5 seconds after damaging a champion, gain a large amount of attack speed. Lethal Tempo allows you to temporarily exceed attack speed limit, and this will be really good for ADCs that require attack speed, and this will help let off a burst of damage when in the laning phase. Bear in mind, this exceeds the attack speed limit, so you can go way higher than 2.5 attack speed. Next, Fleet Footwork. Attacking and moving builds energy stacks. At 100 stacks, your next attack is energized, meaning this will heal you, give you bonus AD, and grant 30% movement speed for 1 second. Healing is 60% as effective when used on a minion. Now, we'll be moving down on the runes. Firstly, on the heroism runes. Overheal. Excess healing on you becomes a shield. This will be really good for when your support has a lot of healing for you, or when you want to store a bit more health, much like a bloodthirster, and convert it into a shield. Triumph. Takedowns restore 15% of your missing health and grants additional 25 gold. Presence of Mind. For 5 seconds after gaining a level or takedown, any mana you spend is fully restored. To know this is taking place, after leveling up or taking down an enemy champion, your mana bar will go white. Within that time, you can use anything that's mana based, and you will not lose a single drop of mana. Now, on the legend section, for each of the 3 runes, you're gonna need legend stacks. Each of the runes hold a maximum of 10 legend stacks. Earn progress towards legend stacks for every champion takedown, epic monster takedown, large monster kill, and minion kills. Legend Alacrity. Gain 3% attack speed plus an additional 1.5 for every legend stack. Legend Tenacity. Gain 5% tenacity plus an additional 1.5 for every legend stack. Legend Bloodline. Gain 0.8% lifesteal for every legend stack. Now, on the combat runes, Coup de Grace. Deal 10% more damage to champions who have less than 40% health. Additionally, takedowns on champions grant an adaptive bonus. Next, Cut Down. Deal 4% more damage to champions with 150 more max health than you, increasing to 10% at 2000 more max health. Last Stand. Deal more damage to champions while you are on low health. You deal damage while you're below 60% health. Maximum damage is gained at 30% health. Now that we've looked over the runes, there's also a secondary section that you can look over. You can select one of the other rune paths and get 2 runes from one of them, and you also get a buff for choosing your secondary. When choosing precision as your primary, the rest of the secondaries you pick will give you 18% attack speed, and the buffs are different when each of the rune pages are your primaries. Now when it comes to gameplay, Fleet Footwork is really good for avoiding attacks and for kiting as well. It's definitely really useful for dodging skill shots to catch up to your enemy, and it gives you a nice bit of speed so you can either gap close or run away. Lethal Tempo gives you a nice bit of attack speed burst, which is really useful for the late game and a lot for the early game as well. Sometimes this can be even used within farm, for attacking enemies, and it gives that little bit of a high DPS when starting off. Because when you start the game now, and because it's not like last season's runes, you don't get an early start unless you buy a dagger. But I doubt you're gonna first buy a dagger as an ADC. Now Press the Attack. I'd say this is a really good power spike in lane. Whenever fighting enemies, it's always good to out-trade them so you can stay ahead of the game and to assure your safety. But honestly, this is really good for bursting down enemy champions, and I'd say it's most frequently going to be used when you're playing as an ADC because they attack really fast. Now, just to conclude this path, I would say that this path was most likely going to be used for ADC, but that doesn't mean not every other role will be using this, because there are still secondaries, and people can use secondaries of precision to actually help with their rune page build. Assassins do benefit off the runes within precision too, and honestly, it all comes down to personal preference or how your gameplay is. But most likely, I'd say you would take this when you are playing an ADC or when you're playing an assassin and taking secondaries. Otherwise, the rest is up to you. Thanks for tuning in within this Runes Reforged Precision video. If you guys want to see more, here's a bunch of other rune paths that you guys can discover. Check the description below to check out the guy who actually helped me with this, and thanks to all my friends that contributed within helping me within the replays and everything else. Stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching.